Hello, Maranatha. I'm Deb Larson, and I am the assistant head of school. I'm here with Miss Joanna Richter, who is the upper school principal, and Mr. Thomas, who is the dean of student life in the upper school. We're here just to talk to you a little bit about what fall is going to look like, and then some sports updates, and then also some events that are coming up. I'm going to start with pods. So I know parents are probably hearing a lot about pods and keeping grade levels together. Miss Richter, how are we going to keep our kids in pods and keep them safe?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we went about setting up pods for the upper school, we really looked at what is the best in keeping our students safe, but also keeping in mind the education that they need to receive here. And so we broke our upper school up into basically 3 different pods. So we have a 6th grade pod, we have a 7th and 8th grade pod, and then we have a 9-12 pod. The 6th grade pod will look a little different this year than it has in the past. We really did a deep dive the past year and looked at how are we really preparing our 6th graders for that middle school and high school time. And we really thought that we could do a better job of transitioning them out of the lower school, leaving 5th grade, giving them a year to transition, to understand what does it look like to move from room to room, to have classes with different teachers a little bit more. And then really once they move into 7th and 8th grade, they'll be set up for success doing that full time. So 6th grade will kind of have like a homeroom advisory feel to it where they'll start and end the day with that 6th grade teacher. But then throughout the day, they will move within their kind of homeroom advisory groups from class to class. So 6th grade will be a pod, 7th and 8th grade will have their pod, and 9-12 will have a pod. They will not be having the same passing periods, so we've mitigated that within our schedule. And then we really looked at break time as well. We took away 7th and 8th grade break and gave 6th grade a time to have a break, whether that's out at the playground for recess or a study hall time or social time in the cafeteria. And then 9th and 12th grade, we took away the 2 breaks that they had in their day and extended their lunchtime. We heard from our high schoolers they needed more time for lunch. So we thought, let's make their lunchtime a 40-minute time and give them more time to eat and socialize at that time. And so those are some of the things we did, both for the educational purpose, but also in light of COVID and how we wanted to move forward keeping our students safe.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Richter. I know the high schoolers are going to like that extended lunch period, and we're really excited to be able to offer that to them. And that was a combination of students saying some things to us and then some teachers requesting that as well. So we are listening to what you guys need and what you guys desire, and we're doing our best to accommodate that in the midst of COVID. We have some changes to lockers, and we're making some changes to lockers due to COVID, and our goal is to have you have a place to put your stuff but not stay there very long. So Mr. Thomas, you want to tell us what that might look like?
Yes, I would love to tell you what that looks like. So lockers are pretty much going to be in the same line of the pods. 6th grade is going to have their own lockers, lettered alphabetically. 7 through 8 is going to have their own lockers, also lettered alphabetically, and 9 through 12 will be lettered alphabetically as well. And again, they won't have the same passing time, so that allows for distancing, that allows for space. But then again, they're going to be within their own age group so that they're still having that school feel, but with the spacing and everything that has been presented to us. So we will have, again, like the pods, we're going to have their own sections, but there will not be the same passing times within each group. So it is going to look a little different, but it's still going to have that school feel to it.
Thanks, Mr. Thomas. There's a couple other things that we're doing in the classrooms. We're sanitizing the classrooms in between each session. We will be asking students to help us with that. And they'll be wiping down all the tables, wiping down all the chairs, getting things ready for that next class. And there will be a sign outside each classroom letting the students know that this classroom has been sanitized and cleaned before the next class comes in. Is there anything else, Ms. Richter, about cleaning that I might have missed that would be important right now?
No, I don't So, thank you. The only thing I wanted to just reiterate, and we've put this out in our email, but we also understand some of our families may not feel safe coming back on campus for a variety of reasons, and we want to accommodate that. And so we're really just asking that if our families would like to learn more about what that virtual option looks like. We know our Maranatha community loves community, and so we don't want to separate those students and families who may choose to be at home learning. So we're doing a virtual option. And I would be happy to take any emails or phone calls to answer questions about that, where students would still be calling into our classes here on campus, still seeing their peers on campus, but learning from their safe home environment. And then we also, have talked about, what happens if the school may have to shut down and move to e-learning. We're putting everything we can in place so that doesn't have to happen again this year. But I think last spring we actually had a very successful e-learning period, and so we were aware that could be something that could present itself. But at this time we're fully on campus 5 days a week, and if you choose to be at home and do our Maranatha virtual, that's another option of being at home 5 days a week.
Yeah, I'll be sending out a letter this week, either Thursday or Friday, that explains that a little bit more. So if that is a choice that you have, we are asking people to make a choice of either being on campus or virtual, because having people go back and forth, number one, defeats the purpose of why we would do that virtual learning. And so we want to make sure that also for the teachers' sake, because this can be really challenging for our teachers if we have students who are in and out and they don't know where they're going to be and how to reach them. And so we'll have that explained a little bit more in the letter, and you can always reach out to the principals. I'll talk about this a little bit more when I meet with Miss Basie for lower school, but that is an option that we have for students, if you've been wondering. And then also with that virtual, I'm sure Mr. Thomas would be clear to tell you that you still have to be in attendance. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, please. Thank you. Go to class. Please go to class, because I don't want to call home and then have to wonder where you are and all these things. So if you just go to class, then we're good. Please, I am begging you, please go to class. Okay. I will love you forever if you go to class. Please. Please.
So if you are virtual and you don't show up in class, you will get a phone call from Mr. Thomas. So, and I know that wasn't very many. We play a little bit, but he will follow up. We still are going to be grading on the same grading scale. We still have the same high expectations. We are not going to have a learning loss. So our students won't have a learning loss. The one thing we do ask this year is that if you are sick, if you have 2 or more symptoms, we do ask you to stay home. We don't want anything brought into the school. We know that that's a possibility. We can't, we can't control that. But the more that we can mitigate that from happening in the school, the better that we can be in the classrooms. We had a couple teachers that we hired that we haven't told you about yet. And so I want Ms. Richter to tell you about our new Bible teachers that we hired. We're very excited about them.
Absolutely. Yes, we are very excited about how the Lord has answered our prayers in bringing our new Bible teachers to Maranatha. So we hired 2 new Bible teachers. As you know, Doc Meyer retired, and then Tim Brown is planning to go to India in October. And so we just wrapped up our interview process. And we hired for our juniors and seniors, Professor Craig Case, who some of our seniors might know, as they had him last year for a PSEO class. But Craig comes to us with just wealth of knowledge, wealth of experience. He has 3 master's degrees in theology, master's of divinity, also master's in teaching English writing, and then he is currently pursuing his doctorate as well. His passion and his heart for the Word and for our students to have that Word hidden in their hearts is just really, really something that we were drawn to. And we know some of our students who have had him in PSEO classes really have enjoyed his teaching style. And then we also hired, for our 9th and 10th grade Bible, we hired Jake Kirshner, who will be coming to us having been in youth ministry for, I think, 17 years. So youth ministry over at Crossroads. Thank you. Crossroads Church in Woodbury. And we're super excited. He's coming as well. He has so many wonderful ideas. His heart is for missions and teaching students about really getting out and owning their faith and living their faith out in our community. So like I said, we're super thrilled. We're super excited to have these men on our staff here for the upcoming school year.
Thanks, Miss Richter. Students, you're going to love these two men. They're pretty incredible, and they're kid magnets. I should say youth magnets, right? Youth magnets. Mr. Thomas, we have a lot of changes in sports, and it's ever changing.
Yes, it is.
Would you please tell us the most current update?
Absolutely. I would be thrilled. So it is no secret that sports is going to look different this year due to COVID and all of its restrictions. So in the fall, we're still going to have swimming, cross country. We're still going to have tennis. We're still going to have diving. So some of that stuff is still going to be soccer. Soccer's a big one. They're still going to go in the fall. It'll be a little restricted with the scheduling and games and that kind of thing and the scrimmages, but those sports will still occur in the fall. However, football and volleyball have been moved to the spring. March 15th through May 15th currently is the schedule with limited games, no scrimmages. And they're looking at the postseason right now, state tournament sections, that kind of stuff. How's that going to look? They've got some time to figure that out. They haven't figured that out yet, but they're looking at that. But right now, that's where they're going to move fall sports. Those two fall sports, rather, is to the spring. It's a little difficult. I myself, as a football coach, it is a little difficult, but I'm glad that we get to have a season and our kids do all get to experience sports, especially those seniors who've been working so hard for their entire career. They're still going to have a chance to play the sport that they love, even if they got to wait a little bit. Like we'd like to say here, pivot. We love to pivot. We've been pivoting for how long now? So this is kind of no different. We're going to pivot here, but this gives us an opportunity and a chance to get better. I always tell my guys, hey, adversity is something we love because it gives us a chance to step up. Mm-hmm. So we have a chance here to step up and do something great and be better once the spring gets here.
I think, Mr. Thomas, you said earlier, too, it gives them a chance to lift a little bit more, get stronger.
Bench press, squats, all of that. Please, just get into it. That would be great. Thank you.
So I'm sure he'll encourage you to lift weights.
Tons of weights, please. Pretty please. Tons of weights. Lots of them.
A couple other things. We are having to make some adjustments with for our lower school with our pickup because we want to keep our lower school in pods as well. And I'll talk about that a little bit more when I meet with Miss Basie. But it does affect our drop-off pickup where students will park. And so I'll let Mr. Thomas talk about student parking.
Parking. Yes, it is me. It is I that is in charge of student parking this year. So I hope you're ready, everyone. So it's going to work pretty much like it did last year. We are encouraging students to park in the back. You can park in the street once teachers have parked and everything. Everyone's here. If you're coming in late, you can park in the street. But we highly encourage everyone to park in the back simply because of flow. And with our lower school picking up before our upper school getting out, it just makes sense and it's safer if students park in the back. So please, please, please park in the back. If you can. If you're late again and you want to park on the street, okay, fine. But please park in the back.
Yeah, we made those adjustments last year. We had someone come out and do kind of an audit on the way that we're parking because we felt like the parking lots were a little bit crazy. And the first thing that they said is students should park in the back because we have our youngest students, our pre-K, and our littles coming in those front doors. And we really need to keep that safe for them, especially, during the winter when those snow mounts can get pretty high. You can't see those kids. And we want to make sure that all of our students are safe. And we know that our upper school can manage parking in the back and coming in those back doors very easily, even if they are late. I would encourage them too to look back there. Because if you went to the front, they're probably already full. So it'd be best for you to go get a good spot and come in the back. And again, if you are late, you do have to check into student services and get that pass, just like normal. I feel like there's one more thing I was going to say about parking. I can't think what it is right now. So I'll just go on to the next thing right now. So schedules, Miss Richter, I know students have been asking, when are we going to get our schedules? I don't know what I'm doing. And what if I want to do drop add? What do I do?
Yeah, absolutely. So Mr. Yancey he's our new Dean of Academics. He's been working on student schedules. And so students can expect to receive student schedules at back to school night, just like we've done in the past. Now, we also understand some families may not want to come to back to school night. So we do have the option, if you choose not to attend, to email them out to your family. And I know one of the big things that students are always want to get their schedule and see if they need to drop or add any classes. And so in the past, we've done it a few ways. We've had a line outside Mr. Yancey's door for drop add. Last year, we had it in here where students could put it into a tablet. And we're going to just be emailing that link out to students to go ahead in the form and put in their drop add request. That way we're not having big lines of people crowding around one little schedule or matrix trying to find out what they can drop and add to their schedule. So we're going to request that on back to school night rather than trying to find Mr. Yancey to make those changes. You go ahead and fill out the form. That will give us a whole week before school starts to get your schedule updated, and you can get your new schedule on that first day of school on Everything Day on August 31st. And then, of course, we always do drop add after classes start, so you have a 5-day window that first week of school as well. So there is no urgency on that drop add piece. We will work with you to make sure you get the classes that you need, but also that are something that is of interest to you as well in your schedule.
And I'm noticing that we have made some adjustments to back to school night. We keep saying back to school night. It's actually 2 nights this year. We made it 2 nights so that we could split the amount of people that were going to be in the building at the same time and in the classrooms. That has been posted on the weekly email blast, and those come out on Monday, so you can look back on that. It has very specifics on going by your alphabet, the last name of your alphabet. And so those are split out for you so that we're not crowding the building, crowding classrooms, crowding the hallways with students and then parents and siblings as well. So take a look at that for those more specifics. And we also have a middle school back to school night. So Miss Richter, you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, I would love to. So we have a few events coming up for the upper school. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight 2 events that we have coming up in August. The first one is our ice cream social on August 13th. Hopefully you noticed in our email blast the time change. So that is now from 5 to 6:30 on August 13th. And that's really just a time to come see some friendly faces around Maranatha. Your favorite teachers will all be here as well. Get some ice cream. And then Living Word is actually doing a youth event that night as well, which is why we moved our time up. So our youth can go ahead and come get some ice cream, hang out with their Maranatha friends, and then go ahead. I think there's going to be food trucks here and a great time in the Word with Living Word. So 2 events that night that you can attend. Yes, absolutely.
I just want to say that those food trucks, I heard that it's free food for youth. So they can come to Maranatha, get some free ice cream, say hello to everyone, head over, get some free food from the church side, and then join the youth revival. So that would be a really exciting night. And I know free food is pretty important to teenagers. Mr. Thomas says yes.
Yes, it is.
Miss Richter.
Yeah, so you can have your dessert first that night, I think. Ice cream and then the food trucks. And then the other event we have coming up is a week after that, August 20th. We have our transition to middle school night. Mr. Thomas will be there. I will be there. Miss Larson will be there. Mr. Yancey will be there. And it's really a time for all of our 6th graders and their families, new 7th graders and new 8th graders to Maranatha. So we just want to bring you all together, talk through some middle school pieces a little bit more in depth. And then also talk through some student life pieces, athletics and clubs that you can participate in while a student here at Maranatha. Talk through some academic pieces that Mr. Yancey will be bringing forward, and starting to talk through what those pieces are like in high school as you think about your GPA, PSEO options here. And then we'll also be passing out schedules to those students who come that night so that you can kind of walk the halls and see where your classes will be, see where your locker will be. So you have a little head start on some of that, being that you'll be new to the upper school. And so we're super excited for that night. We understand some families may not want to attend in person, so that'll also be streamed live, and that link will be coming out in an email from me very soon here so that you can have that link to also attend virtually if you wish to do so.
All right. I think we covered everything.
I think so.
I think so. There is more. We'll be coming back as we roll out some new things that are coming, some additions, some changes that we're doing. Our plan is to do these either through email updates, which you'll be getting one from me coming up either Thursday or Friday, and then also to do some more virtual ones like this. We are really looking forward to having you back on campus. We're very excited about it. We've been planning all summer. We've been pivoting with perseverance as things change very quickly. And again, we're very excited for you coming on back on campus. God bless you, Maranatha. Have a good day.